Men rather be with a woman with kids. You can argue with who you want. A man rather be with a woman with kids for 3 different reasons.
So again, we see where these ideals, these takes, these thoughts, they don't come from data, they don't come from men. They come from just sort of assuaging the guilt or the shame that you have put yourself in a position in life where you don't want to face that there's consequences for your decision. Subscribe, let's talk about it.
The biggest lie that I remember being ever told was, ain't no man gonna marry a woman with 3 kids. Ain't no man gonna marry a woman with all them kids. Well, guess what? A lot of times in today's society, men rather be with a woman with kids. You can argue with who you want. A man rather be with a woman with kids for 3 different reasons. Number 1, we're nurturers. That's natural for a woman with kids, okay? Number 2, we know how to hold it down. We take care of the household, we pay the bills, we make sure everything is done, right? And Number 3, the reason why a man would marry a woman with 3 kids is because she done already did all of the things. She got 3 kids. She ain't trying to run around and play games. She trying to get married. She's trying to hold it down and be with him and him only. Now, y'all can argue with that or not, but that's just my opinion from my experience. Y'all be blessed.
Where we want to be clear is this, that I want to say that it does happen. We want to be clear about this. I don't want this to be like a complete just flogging of her opinion. We're saying, yeah, it absolutely does happen. But in that manner, in that sense, is it the type of man that you actually set out that you wanted? When we see claims and we listen to stories about how you refuse to settle, is that man that now is marrying you with 3 kids from maybe one baby father or maybe multiple, maybe a marriage? What type of quality is he? Or is this at the point where you realize I'm no longer going to get the type of man that I've said that I wanted for time immemorial? We're talking about you have to be realistic about what your chances are. These conversations become kind of polarized and one-sided. It's either on or it's off. In reality, the truth is in between. The man that you say that you want, that women come on here and say, spout that they deserve, that they refuse to settle for, is that the man that's going to marry you with 3 kids? Usually the answer is no. Just usually the answer is no, because he has no incentive for him to do that. Because we don't have these conversations in good faith or with actual men there present that can tell you what they think, because sometimes there's the backing, sometimes they have the following, sometimes they're simply there to pander to you. In reality, men are very territorial. In reality, men want to see themselves in their children. Especially now, the more successful that man becomes, like the men that you say you want. He now realizes for all that effort, for all that work that he's done in his life, there has to be a reward for it. There has to be a reward. And that reward is not such as just saying you or a woman, or he deserves this, he deserves the baddest of the bad. The reward is choice. The reward is choice, that he says, I realize now that I've struggled to do these things, to become something, to be competent in this trade, in this fashion, in my business, in my W-2 work, whatever. As I've climbed the top, I've learned so much about myself where I get it now. I do not have to decide to be with what I don't want to. I've made compromises to get where I am. I've delayed the gratification. Now I am spoiled for choice. Why would I choose that? What we end up lacking in these conversations, when women say these things, you can say these things enough times as you want, but it doesn't make it more true. It doesn't make it true at all. What you have to do when you find yourself in this position, you have kids from multiple men. 1, you've got to get realistic about your standards and what you actually can now command on the sexual dating market. 2, you have to drop this idea that there's going to be that perfect person out there and he's going to look in the way you envision perfection to look. That perfect person is going to come along. You may have already met him. He may be in your DMs. He may have been talking himself alone in your DMs for 6 months. But he's the one that's going to look at your situation and say, I don't mind any of that. I just want to be with you. That is now perfect for you. Perfect for you is not now just up to you, where you say, I'm spoiled for choice and I have all these potential mates. I have all this potential choice. Life is abundant. I can choose what I want. No, that part of you died after several kids. Part is gone. Now you have to meet men where they are. You can get with them and try to help them, try to develop them into something else. You can do that. But realistically, those type of men are no longer available to you in mass, for the most part. simply because you've never taken into account what do they want. And again, men are territorial. Men want to see themselves in that next generation. It's easy to struggle for or sacrifice for people that you know share your legacy. We can bemoan, we can make fun of, we can say these things aren't important, that men, they talk about wanting to pass on legacy. It's silly. It's not for us. Like I said in the previous video, we're beyond the shame part of this game anymore. You can't simply tell men you should want this, and a real man would say, okay, cool. You don't have to label me a real man. That's fine. I have no fealty to that. If it means that I have to do something that I genuinely don't want to do and I'm expected to do for the rest of my life, then it's fine. I don't need to be labeled a real man by you. Part of these conversations where it becomes completely untrue because some of this access, this becomes an access thing. You with 3 kids, you don't find yourself in rooms with men that make that type of money, that men that have made it. You find yourself where you find yourself, in that same pool that you've been messing with since time immemorial. Those are the men that you're choosing from. Those are the men that look and say, I don't mind that you have 3 kids. I have 5. I don't mind that you have 3 kids. I never had a shot with you until you understood you had to lower your value. And we're both not saying the quiet part out loud. If not for your kids, you wouldn't choose me. You wouldn't be with me. If not for the stability that I've created by not being one of these guys that are actually your type, you wouldn't be with me. And because I have low self-esteem and I've never been out there, I've never made it, I've never tried to be better than what I am, I simply accepted what came my way. That's the type of man I am. I'm solid. I won't ever betray you. I feel lucky to be here, even if it's 20 years removed. Even if it comes with the baggage, even if you never really treat me in the way which you would a man that you actually loved. You were in love with this man. This is the type of man you respected. No, I'm the cleanup man. I'm going to get cleanup man treatment. But because I'm so enamored with you, because I've never tried to strike it out on my own, I'm happy just to be here. That's the type of man you're getting with. That's not the type of man that you go to the tippity top of the mountain and sing his praises. This is a man that will do because the options have dried out for the type of man you were shooting for. It's not to say that you didn't try. You made attempts. You may have made attempts, or you may have simply said, well, I had fun, I enjoyed myself, and I really wanted a kid, and the type of man that I wanted, well, I had his kid. Maybe he comes around, maybe he doesn't. But in reality, your best thinking, your best decisions have got you here where you have 3 kids and now you're looking for that type of man. You can still play the game. You can still hunt. You can still say, I still want what I want, and that's commendable. But in reality, when we have to look at how the real world works, you have to take into account what that type of man that you say you want, that you deserve, that you qualify for, what does he want? And the minute you start trying to mesh those 2 worlds together, you find a disconnect. You find that it has trouble sort of aligning together. Because he's going to look and say, I don't really see you. You can see it for yourself. Even when we like to use shows like Pop the Balloon. Once she mentions she's got multiple kids, how many pops do you got? This is one of those reflections of reality. You can be a lovely woman, but the reality of your situation is still the reality of your situation. As your kids get older, some of these situations change. You have young girls in the house, some of these situations change. You have young boys that get rebellious and have a chip on their shoulder. Some of these situations change. It's just complex. It doesn't really take away. We're not trying to say, and I want to make sure we highlight this. We're not trying to take away your value as a human. We're not saying any of that. You could be a fantastic person. You can be a fantastic partner. You could be feminine to the ends of the world. It's just the situation becomes complex. And for men that have made it somewhere in their life, they're not looking for complex when they come back home. They want that to be the sweet release where they can relax, where they can recharge, where they can find themselves again, where they can breathe, where they feel like this is what it's worth doing. They don't want to come into a house and all of a sudden be the 5th most important person in that house. Maybe 7th, maybe 8th when you count the baby daddies still having an influence in his space. It's a hard pill to swallow because we've never tried to hold you accountable for decades. What we've got now, we see that shift. As we're the pioneers of the internet, the millennials, as we're beginning to age out of the game where we now have the consequences for our decisions. We're still trying to date like we have the options that we had when we were younger. A lot of us have been marred and have been roughed up by life. You've got scars, you've got trauma, you've got drama following you. You've got baggage that you're sitting in front of people and saying, can you help me, share this load? And they're saying, no, I don't want that. And that's fine. That has to be fine. Just as fine as your choices, your desires are fine. We can accept that. So it's fair for that man to say, hey, I'm good. Listen, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on screen, check this out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you are listening to the sound of my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.